Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, after a little bit of a hiatus, things get busy, but
about 3 years overall, something like that.
Oh, I was talking about before and after the movies.
Yeah, no, I'm saying since the first episode of our podcast.
Oh, yes.
God knows how long that's been.
That was like 2019. I think it's been like 2020.
Yeah, so we're coming on 3 to 4 years, something like that.
And we're happy to celebrate episode 50 with each other and with you.
Big 5-0. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us. Apologies for the hiatus, but hasn't been a ton of cinematic events.
Yeah, we had to scrap our Madame Web one. That one will never see the light of day. It is recorded, but will never see the light of day.
Decided, to.
And, in the spirit of episode 50 and growth, Antony and I famously skipped Dune 1 in lieu of what movie?
Was it Venom?
It was Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And
a lot of controversy.
The outcrying from you, our fans, was it was difficult. It was difficult to manage.
It was.
But I'm happy to say that we've learned, and now
we've come through it.
Yeah, we're really excited to embark on this journey of Dune Part 2 with you, our loyal listeners.
Directed by
Denis Villeneuve.
Very nice. Starring.
Ready?
Yeah.
Bautista.
Chalamet.
Zendaya.
Ferguson.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Butler.
Josh Brolin.
Seydoux.
Oh shit! Yeah. Nice. Florence Pugh.
Brolin.
Christopher Walken.
And Javier Bardem.
Yeah, and there's actually one more person, but it might be a spoiler. I don't know.
I think I know who you're talking about. Female.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Anya Taylor-Joy. Of course she's in this. With that weird look. You gotta be.
You just use I want every sexy starlet.
You think it's Furiosa? A little crossover?
No, I think it's probably the Emperor's Daughter or something like that. Okay, we can do sides, or do you want to do fast questions?
Yeah, maybe let's do sides first, and then we've got a lot to... I want to talk about Dune 1 briefly.
Yes, of course.
Why don't you try and quell some of that controversy?
Why don't we finish the sides with Dune 1, because we both rewatched Dune 1 this past week.
Sure.
All right, so...
I had a few more, but I've just stuck with ones that I feel like maybe are worth talking about very briefly. Okay. But I've got quite a few, so... Maybe do you want to just take turns?
Sure.
I watched The Fugitive with Harrison Ford, a 93 thriller, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, I've seen it,
I'd never seen it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Very fun.
Nice. I watched Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire.
You watched that, but you wouldn't watch Madame Web? Apparently that movie's one of the worst movies to come out in a long time.
It's pretty bad. It makes the creator look incredible.
Oh, wow. I watched Hard Candy for the first time.
Oh, is that
Ellen Page and Patrick Wilson.
Elliot Page.
Patrick Wilson as a pedophile.
Yeah.
Very good. Again.
That was post Juno, I think.
No, pre-Juno.
Pre-Juno, okay. Yeah. I watched Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
I imagine
it actually wasn't bad.
Yeah, I have heard
it was actually pretty interesting. I enjoyed it.
Does a good job of empathizing a villain.
And it's got a non-conventional 3-act structure, which is kind of nice.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. I watched Dumb Money.
Yeah, it's good. Hey?
Absolutely loved. Yeah, just some great performances across the board.
Bit $50 off that. I watched Leave the World Behind, the Netflix one with Mahershala. Yeah.
How was that?
It was all right. Yeah.
I've hovered over it a couple times. I'm just want to be Oscar bait.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of gripping, and then it's not gripping at all.
I think we talked about this maybe off camera or off mic, but Infinity Pool I watched.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Our producer and I watched that. So
I really liked it.
Really?
Yeah, it gave me the ick in a really good way.
Yeah, okay.
It gave me that feeling of dread, that horrible, almost dreamlike nightmare feeling.
Yeah. So you're a bit of an Alexander Skarsgård kick, eh? It's all the pieces are coming together. I watched Past Lives.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. I had it on here.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Did it ruin you? Did it make you cry? I bet you made Joyce cry.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. My fiance cried. I just sat there sternly, and it made me think about a lot of things. Yeah. It made you realize how quick life can just flash by, and missed opportunities and all that kind of stuff.
It was I watched it and I was kind of numb. Then the next morning I was thinking about it laying in bed, and I started crying. I was holy shit.
I finally watched Belfast.
Oh, nice.
Pretty underwhelming, if I'm honest.
Okay. Is it in black and white?
Yeah, there's a few color scenes in the modern day, but for the most part it's black and white.
And it's Jamie Dornan, right?
Yeah.
Is he good in it?
No, I didn't think
he's not a very good actor.
Very good.
Right?
No, average performances.
I watched Killers of the Flower Moon.
You didn't.
Holy shit, it's so good.
Okay, thank God. I loved it.
Was so good.
You just watched it at home?
Yeah, we watched it here. It's just like a dark, harrowing story. Like anytime De Niro was on, it got to the point when he would come on screen, like I would get nervous.
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, what's gonna happen?
He was a nasty piece of work in that film.
Yeah.
I watched After Sun.
Oh, that's the one with Paul Mescal, right?
Paul Mescal, yeah. Very out there, very experimental. Good portrait of depression and fatherhood.
Is he like incredible in it?
I didn't think so. I thought all the Paul Mescal. It's all a puff piece for Gladiator.
I'm surprised it's not in fucking Dune too. Eh?
Yeah, for real.
I watched Mean Girls the musical.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I heard it was okay.
It was okay. It was a fun musical, but not a very good.
Did you see it pre-Lindsay Lohan joke or post-Lindsay Lohan joke?
Pre-Lindsay Lohan
nice.
joke, yeah. So I saw some fire crotch in there.
I watched The Hunt, which I mentioned to you as well.
The Hunt.
Yeah, the one, it's sort of the classic battle royale concept where a bunch of conservatives are captured by a bunch of liberals.
Yeah.
Fun movie. I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, it was fun. I watched The Marvels.
Oh, yeah?
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's
better than Quantumania.
Yeah, it's not very good, but it's pretty fun, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's
there's a few little action moments that are like, oh, it's better than I expected.
And the Miss Marvel, Iman Vellani, she was good.
Thoughts on Beast post credit? Doesn't do anything for you.
I think someone said like they're just doing these post credits with willy nilly. Like there's no connection.
There's no bigger story.
Yeah.
Yep. Fair enough. I watched Paddington.
Oh, is it? Is it
charming?
Is it the best movie ever? 99%.
It's one of the best family films I've seen.
Did you watch it with your nephews?
Just watch it with Joyce. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Again, we got it from the library. That's like our new thing, getting Blu-rays from the library. They had like 18 copies of it.
Are you still paying for streaming services?
Yeah. It's just like, and some of them are on streaming as well, but like you just can't quite beat the crispy quality of a Blu-ray.
Yeah. Okay, this is my last one. I watched May December.
Oh, okay.
Natalie Portman, Julianne Moore.
Joyce watched it. I saw bits of it.
Yeah, so it's not for everyone. It's like very slow, but for some reason I was just enthralled by it, captivated. Great performances, great acting.
I got Poor Things.
Oh, yes.
Which is phenomenal.
Yeah, I still need to watch that actually before. We got the Oscars actually next week.
Yeah, that's coming up real soon. And then The Black Phone I finally watched as well.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was, I heard a lot of buzz about it.
Yeah.
It was totally fine.
Directed by?
Scott Derrickson.
Yeah.
From Doctor Strange 1.
Doctor Strange 1. And they're making The Black Phone 2, apparently.
Yeah, which is bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Dune 1.
Yes, so we both rewatched Dune 1.
Yeah. Anyone who's listened to this or has talked about this movie will know I famously really did not enjoy the first one on first viewing.
Yeah, me as well. I thought my big note here is it suffered big time from Part 1 syndrome.
Part 1 syndrome, where it was like, we somehow have watched a 2.5 hour movie and I can't believe it's over because I feel like we're just...
Yeah, I kept waiting. I was
beat
like,
the inciting incident. And
yeah, exactly.
I feel like they were drawing out things in the plot to like come up with some sort of a climax. Like we gotta cross the sand, like a bit, and then one little battle, one little one-on-one, hand-to-hand fight combat sequence. But under your recommendation and a number of others, we watched a like lore explanation video that was actually published on YouTube before Dune 1 came out, which was perfect for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I know there can be no spoilers. It explained to me like the houses and the families and the resources and stuff a lot better. And I went into it like with a whole new level of understanding.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah.
I will say that. I will change my rating. I think I had it at a 5. I'll change
it a 5.
Yeah, I really did not care for it at all.
I remember you famously rated Venom 2 higher than it.
Right, but you know my thing with the scale, but
yeah,
it's not a
that's why I don't do numbers anymore.
Okay, Stuckman. But yeah, no, I give it a 7.5 now. I still don't think it's incredible. I think the first half's a lot better than the second half. I love the world building, and I think Timothée Chalamet's performance, I totally went over my head the first time. But once I've realized the pressure he's under and how he's basically like the result of like a breeding program essentially to like become this messiah-like figure.
Yep.
I liked his performance a lot more. I liked Rebecca Ferguson's performance a lot more.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac was just great.
Yeah, he was great. But I still feel like that last act, like you say, you can say it better, suffers from Part 1 syndrome still.
Yeah, so my experience, I remember I'm not a big Dune head, I'm not a big Dune guy. No. So like Brennan and I went to the theater, kind of sitting there, and I'm like waiting for this movie to like precipice. Because everyone's talking about Dune. Like, where are the worms at, you know? Yeah. And then, like, after that hand-to-hand combat scene, it kind of ends, and it says end part 1. I was like, fuck, like, I didn't really like this movie. Like, I kept waiting for something more. And then upon rewatch, I knew that, okay, this is part one. Let's just kind of get into the world a bit. And oh man, I enjoyed it so much more.
Right.
It was just like such a spectacle, such a treat. Like had the volume turned up to like 20. Yeah. The bass was cranked.
Yeah.
And like
the sound design is truly something special. Mm-hmm. And I love that quote where it says like Denis has basically been dreaming of making this movie since he was like 6 years old.
Oh wow!
And he's like, there's certain wide shots of like the worms just traveling underground. He's like, I've been imagining these shots in my head since I was like a little kid. So getting the chance to finally do it, I really felt his passion for the source material.
That's awesome.
And I've heard similar things with like people used to say like Watchmen was like going to be so hard to adapt because some things are just better in written format. Mm-hmm. And I heard a lot of people thought Dune was unadaptable because of I don't know exactly why. Like
apparently it's really complicated.
Yeah,
we haven't read the books. We haven't.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's about.
But if you think about it, like the general plot, I'm gonna anger Dune heads here, is basically you've got this family called I was gonna say Atreus because I've been playing Atreides.
Yeah.
They're sort of family house that are rising in political influence and power. A lot of people like them. They've been sent by the Emperor, who are the Harkonnens.
No, the Harkonnens are not the Emperor. The Emperor.
They're another faction of the Empire.
No. Well, the Empire sides with the Harkonnens.
Okay.
Because that's why they supply the Sardaukar, the guys with the blades.
Right.
And then that's why Rebecca...
But they're allies. Like, the Harkonnens and the Empire.
They become allies.
Right.
To destroy House Atreides.
So they're like, yo, we're going to put you guys in charge of the planet Arrakis.
Jesus! Let me just stop you there. Control the podcast here.
I'm doing really good here. Arrakis, they're like, you're in charge. They send him down there. It's a trap. They kind of know it's a trap, but they think they can partner with the Freeman.
They
can partner with the Morgan Freemans, and they can make it all good. But essentially, they're like, no, we're going to leave them to die.
Yeah.
Because they're set up to fail, doomed to fail, and if we need to, we'll send the Sardaukars.
Holy
the Alexander Sardaukars.
Oh my god. the Stellan Sardaukars.
Yeah. He's great too as well.
Yeah,
I really liked him.
Yeah. I didn't realize that David DeChalmain's in the first one, hey?
I don't even know who that is.
He's Polka Dot Man from Suicide Squad.
Oh. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. So then they get set up to fail. They try to kill them all. They basically succeed, except Paul and his mom get away.
Yeah.
And they basically hone in on his powers because her family are part of these like witches that have these...
What's their name? There's no way you wrote this down.
No, I didn't, but I do know. I can't remember.
It's the Bene Gesserit.
Oh, I never would have got that in a million years. Yeah.
It's like you didn't even rewatch it.
So she's like testing him with the needle, and she's like, "You'll feel extreme pain," and he's like, "No, I'm good. I can handle it." So, but he was supposed to be a girl. Did you know that?
Yes, but the boys are more or can be stronger or something like that.
She's like, he can kind of be the best because he's got his father's like genes as well, and they're like, we have other candidates.
Yeah.
So I was paying attention.
All right, you didn't like that comment.
I struggle with the complicated names.
Yeah, so just so people know, Antony is not a big sci-fi nor fantasy. Famously, never watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So I wonder, going into this movie, how approachable it is going to be for someone like you versus someone like me.
And now that I feel like I have, at least a better grasp of what happened. What I'm really curious about is I've heard this new Dune 2 is being lauded for the way it subverts the Chosen One formula. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm very curious to see how it pans out. Because right now I'm seeing like, the movie is very original, but I'm still seeing a pretty tried and true tested formula of Chosen One leads up, doubts himself, but basically fulfills his destiny. So I'm wondering how is Dune different? I don't know if you know much about what happens in the book. If you,
well, I think Dune first gets his powers by training with Gurney. That's a little throwback to Antony's famous joke. Remember your training, Dune.
Yeah, I love that part where Troy kills that dude.
Okay, fast questions.
Yeah, fast questions.
Question number 1: are we gonna get a shirtless, weirdly jacked Chalamet?
Oh damn it! I have the same thing. I was like, Timothée Chalamet somehow instantly more jacked, even though the movie takes place immediately after. Yes, we will be getting that.
Okay. How many times will Paul Atreides use the voice?
Not many. 4.
Do you think he's going to use it in like a Star Wars The Force kind of way, or just like a
I think he might use the way they'll up the stakes is use it on a whole group of soldiers.
Yeah. Silence!
Yeah. Kill each other.
Question 3. Will Christopher Walken come to Arrakis?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know.
I have for you, will we see a hand-to-hand combat scene between Butler and Chalamet?
I wish, man. Sorry, I hope so. Yeah.
I think we will.
Yeah.
Timothy instantaneously and weirdly in better shape, even though it takes place right after the first film.
Yeah.
Sex scene between Zendaya and Tim. Are we there?
No, I think we get like a handhold.
A lot of brooding.
Yeah.
Brooding
stares. And then like a sunset. And then maybe I'm with child.
You think Holland put that in the contract, or? I will fucking walk out.
Why? Everyone thinks Tom Holland is like so protective or something.
It must be hard to watch.
If he gets fucking close to her.
It must be hard to watch. Like
he's on set
an
every
alternate
day.
universe version of you be with your girlfriend for like 6 months.
He's lingering that fucking kiss. Okay, Tom. Okay, Tom.
Yeah, we'll talk to Timothy. Stellan Skarsgård death.
Probably.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Rebecca Ferguson death. Maybe.
Yeah, I'll go with yes as well.
Yeah.
She's really good. Like she really stood out in that movie.
Yeah.
She has this like horrible, like she's got that like you can tell she kind of loves him, but she's just like so afraid of like loving her own son because like she knows what he might have to do, kind of thing.
The scene where she's like, Paul's never killed.
Yeah.
When they do the hand that was pretty good.
And when because they're what's that term where like you're not actually married?
Common law.
No, there's like it's like concubine or something like that.
Okay.
That's Oscar Isaac and her.
Oh, really?
Like they're not actually married, but it's like a platonic relationship or something like that.
I see.
But yeah, when he's like, if it actually comes to it and he's in danger, like, will you actually protect him? Or
yes, because she's just kind of like
going to take.
Yeah.
So I like that conflict that you always see her kind of like worried about that, and ultimately I feel like her love for him does overpower her duty with this clan that she's part of.
I do have a note here. I'm hoping there's no worm comes out of nowhere and saves the day. So no, like I want the worms to be like they're coming, not like.
Yeah, no, I agree. And do you think we'll actually see the death of a worm in this one?
Oh,
I was gonna ask that as my last question.
I don't know, man. Fuck.
And they're all like, they do like a death, like
they
death
do like
ritual.
A full mourning. Yeah.
You killed it.
Damn, I'm excited to see the worm riding scene.
Yeah. I think we'll see one where it's like, you think the worm is coming to save the day, but I think this empire have like devised a way to like kill it like with these big hooks and they like rip it out of the sand.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, it would be sick. That's like honestly my biggest hope for this film. And of course, like I need a little bit more action this time around.
Yep.
And I know we'll get it. I know Denny's pretty much promised that from time one. This was basically the first one was a big setup movie. So I'm expecting like, do you think that they conclude the first book with this movie, or do you think they're going to try and shoehorn in a little part 3?
Is there a Dune part 3? The cast is like too big, too famous to do a third. Unless they're all under contract.
Obviously, there's 5 novels, from my understanding, that are about Paul, and then there's even more that go into like different protagonists. So I'm sure if it does well enough, they'll find a way.
We'll get Dune the Messiah, hey?
Yeah. I think it's, the first one, I was looking at the box office. So the first one cost about $200 million and it made $475, but it also released coincidentally on HBO Max. It was one of those. Yeah. Or it was like 1 week later. It was something crazy.
Wow.
So they basically assured Denny that like the box office wasn't the only determining factor. And apparently it did do really well on HBO Max, which is why they let him. Yeah, because they basically put in that part 1 at the end, which was a risky play.
It was
very risky, and ultimately that paid off. So this one is $190 million.
Okay.
I'm not sure about runtime, but yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, do you think? I think it's Legendary Pictures, right? Who do these? Who are probably owned by someone else. I don't know if it's Warner Brothers.
No, it's Warner Brothers.
It feels like Warner Brothers.
It's Warner Brothers. It's Warner Brothers. Yeah.
I find it hard to imagine they'll just let this be a 2 if it's successful enough. Or are you hoping just for like a big finale and like we just did a nice 2-parter and that was it for once?
Yeah, I think I want that. I think this just feels like there's so much more love and care and thought put into these I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but to put it into these two films where you look at like MCU or something like that, where it really has just become green screen, cookie cutter. Yeah, it's like, that's what makes Dune. That's why I'm very excited for it, because it just feels different, and it feels like a
feels like more of an artist's vision,
right?
Yeah,
it's not often that you get like a heavy action movie that has a great story that goes along with it, right?
And to be honest, like based on the first one, like I wouldn't say the story was great still. Like I still feel like its biggest strengths are its like atmospheric like feelings, its cinematography, and like the acting is good for sure. But it is a bit stiff because like there is a lot of like political dialogue they have to get through.
They got to say a lot of funny words.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and I think Zendaya is going to shine in this one because obviously she's basically a stand-in in the first movie. She barely has any lines.
I've never seen Euphoria, so I've actually never seen. I've never seen the famous Zendaya acting. Yeah.
There's one episode of that. I think it's early season 2 where she's basically just on the run from the cops, and it's incredible acting from her. So yeah, we'll see what we get from her.
Have you noticed? There's a lot of buzz for this movie, but but also seeing it from people who don't usually go to the theaters. I think we were kind of talking about this earlier. This is kind of like there's the group of people that will go to the theaters once a year for one movie, and I think this is the movie because I'm seeing people on Instagram being like, "Oh, it's Dune 2 night" and stuff like that.
You're seeing posting next to the Cineplex thing.
Yeah, exactly.
No, 100%. I feel like there's
awesome.
Yeah, 100%. I think people have shown like they're still willing to go out to the theater, but you got to give them something to go for. Mm-hmm. And this is 100% the real first movie of the year that I actually feel is worth going to see in theaters. Like, aside from the Oscar ones, but like I'm perfectly happy to watch those at home.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch them in the theater, but this is one where I was like, oh, I'd be choked if I didn't go and see this.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's gonna be loud. I'm hoping we'll get a polite and respectful theater.
Yeah, I think so.
Opening weekend's usually pretty safe.
Yeah, I know it's done very well. I haven't looked at the exact numbers because I kind of want to save it to see, but it's good. It's good to see. It's not an original IP, but it's not a big superhero movie doing well. That's great.
Doing well.
Nice. Nice. I don't know anything about the plot. I don't know if you know anything, what to expect. Like, what do you imagine? Okay, so if this was a Star Wars movie, let's say, which do follow very classic 3-act structures. Obviously, this is about Dune realizing his destiny, rising up, ultimately going to war with the Harkonnens, with the Fremen.
Sure. Okay.
And it ends with a big climactic scene with sort of like worms as the geographical thing to watch out for.
Yeah.
And a big war scene, armies clash.
Yeah.
And then at the end, Dune is basically announced as the
new
emperor. Yeah. Do you think that's what this movie is, or do you think it goes in an unexpected direction?
I don't know if Dune's going to be announced as the...
I can feel people just seething when we do that.
I don't know if he's going to be announced as the emperor. I think, like, if I were to paint by numbers this movie, the opening scene would be like him training with the Fremen and kind of learning desert ways.
Okay, I like that.
And then we get like a mid scene with like maybe a Harkonnen attack and his mom dies, or
do you think there's a chance Zendaya is actually like the leader and his purpose is more just to like propel her up?
No.
So what do you think what's her point of being in this? Like, is she...
Maybe she's also like Bene Gesserit or something like that.
Okay. Because so how is it that they communicate with each other so telepathically? Is it just the spice that does that? He's on the spot.
Who's they?
Paul and Zendaya. Like, they're having visions of each other.
Oh, I didn't know she's having visions of him.
Or I guess she's not. No, she's not. Because she's like, oh, I don't think you're that strong or whatever. Yeah. But he's definitely been seeing her. Yeah. So, because he's clairvoyant. I guess.
And also the spice like brings it out.
Right. It just see like the spice is a little wishy-washy.
Yeah,
like, is it fuel? Is it a super serum? Like, what are we doing here? If it's in this, it's all good. They love it. It's a really cool plot device. If it's in a superhero movie, then it's just all stupid spice. It's so stupid.
Sorry, but to go on, paint by numbers. The mid scenes, like in a Harkonnen attack, someone close to him dies. Then Josh Brolin comes, trains him harder, and then they do a big climax and they win.
Right.
And they kind of take back Arrakis, and that's it. And they think the Emperor is going to be coming now.
There's a light mention of potential future conflicts, but ultimately the story's pretty wrapped up.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Post credit?
That would be cool. I think what would be really even better than that is if it just ended and it said like end of part 2.
Ooh.
Because then that just like, is there more? Or Dune will return. At the very end of the credits, the little sound of a worm.
Oh man, you're gonna be pissing off the Dune heads. Dune will return.
Do you think we have Momoa in this, Duncan?
As a flashback?
Yeah, like somehow weirdly weaving him in, or do you think he comes back?
I thought that too.
You've rebuilt Duncan? He has to fight Paul this time?
Young Atreides.
This isn't you, Duncan! Snap out of it. No!
Do you think we'll get Oscar Isaac flashbacks?
Yeah, I was definitely surprised by how, like, I thought I remember him being more prevalent in the first one. Like, he kind of dies pretty early, but he gives a great performance, but it's limited.
I didn't pick this up.
I don't think we get Oscar Isaac back,
okay.
no.
In the first viewing, like, I missed it, but basically Oscar Isaac and House Atreides took this offer from the Emperor, not for the spice, but to
form an allegiance,
with the Fremen, yeah.
I liked that. And yeah, I liked how he seems to have like the best qualities. Like he has like his dad's sort of like military gifts, but then his mom's sort of like her special powers, and I feel like that makes it quite interesting. But you know, the more we talk about this movie, like it's a lot of similarities to like a superhero genre film if you think about it.
I think it just looks better.
Yeah, it looks better and it strips away some of those like cliches.
And there's not many superpowers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there kind of are though.
It's just a voice.
Seeing the future, there's like super strength and super alertness and
super alertness.
That's what it says in the little lore video. But if my understanding as well is like once you're actually addicted to the spice, you can't ever get off of it. I don't know if you kneed that.
No.
So the withdrawal will kill you.
Okay, so we'll probably get a scene and be like, who are they? It's like, spice heads.
Yeah.
Something like that. the spice has them now.
Yeah, so like once you kind of get the blue eyes, you're sort of like bound to this planet to a degree.
Did you just make that up, or is that...
No, it's in that lore video.
Okay.
And it's like, withdrawal, unless
no more of this lore video, alright?
Unless you're a very strong being off the spice kills you. So, that's my other big question is like, obviously the first one, we see glimpses of like spaceships but it mentions in the lore video that there's like tens of thousands of colonized planets in this universe. So it's a huge universe. Do you think we see a little bit more space travel, some off-world scenes, or do you think we're sticking mostly to our planet?
That was actually what I have written down too. Do you think we're leaving Arrakis? I think we're going to stick to our little planet and maybe cut to the Emperor's planet.
Yeah. I think we might see like some other communities being like subjected to like leadership in like a little montage of like a rainy planet. Maybe. You're getting real Star Wars. Yeah. Everyone's sort of bound together by this unknown
there's a beacon and everyone comes to help.
There is a fucking Death Star in Dune though. That weird shot. It's like literally
I haven't seen the trailer.
No, the first one when I was rewatching it. Like one of the planets is coming over, or one of the ships is coming over Arrakis, and it has like a divot in the circle and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought that was quite strange. It's like it's never gonna fully shake off some of the mirroring of Star Wars, like just by definition, like the ship's moving around and there's an emperor and stuff, and I think it needs to do maybe a little bit more to differentiate itself, and like a sand planet being such a big part, like there are a lot of similarities. So I hope this just drives in its own lane, essentially. Yeah. Last question before we wrap up. Are you excited? Yeah, I am excited. It's been a while since I've had that big movie theater experience. I want a nice popcorn. I'm going to sit down, super open mind, and see if I can finally become a Dune head. Nice. And I'm going to definitely read the book very soon. That's what everyone says, though. Yeah, but I've been good lately. We should do a quick novel checkup. Before and after the movie? Or before and after the books? Yeah. Right on. Okay, well, let's go see what Dune Part 2 has in store, and we'll be back very shortly. Sounds good. We'll see you guys in 3, 2, 1. So... Of all the quotable lines to pick, you picked the fucking most obscure one. I thought it would be really pleasant for our viewers' ears, you know? Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back from Dune Part 2. Yep. Welle 2.
just off the hop here.
Yep.
Opening thoughts?
I mean, it was just stunning. Like, absolutely brilliant movie. 9.5 for me.
Oh, wow. Busting out the big numbers.
Sometimes like we can cut the bullshit. I can feel you're hesitant. Oh yeah, because you mentioned we very rarely talk about anything. But I did get one nugget from you.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like I kind of enjoyed the first one more.
You're right. Is that just because you like everything's fresh and it's like opening the universe and the story?
And like the timeline is a bit tighter.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like when
I think I was probably right about my 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. The first movie to me at least kind of took place over the course of like a week or two or a month. Whereas this one,
I'd say a couple days, like 5 days maybe.
This one I kind of felt myself like often being like, oh, like
this one was
like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, sprawling epic is the term I would use, and I think that maybe suited my taste a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I just loved. It's such a cliche to say that it's like Empire, but it had a big Empire feel, and I'm going to double down. And it also had a big Two Towers feel.
Oh my god, I was just about to ask you, is this the modern day Lord of the Rings?
It is, man. It felt so much like Two Towers in the sense of like, it's not that long of a movie, but it felt like a 5-hour movie.
It felt long, yeah. For better or for worse.
For better.
Yeah, sorry. It didn't... When I say, sometimes we say a movie feels long where we're checking the next in. This was the kind of movie where it's like, I could probably do another hour.
I felt like I was like, is it going to end on a cliffhanger?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I thought they were going to do the same trick again where it's like end of part 2 or something. And I feel like they kind of did, but it did manage to complete the story. I was like, how are they going to have time to do the battle and do the resolution? And they found a good way of tying it up. And maybe maybe like one slight flaw is like, kind of has a little bit of that creator syndrome where like it takes its time in a lot of areas and then the ending is maybe like a little overpaced or they have to cram a lot in.
From what I've heard from some Dune heads, is that the book is like...
What Dune head is this? Off the record?
These like guys on this random hockey team I saw before. I was like, I read the book. Yeah, so from what I understand is that in the book, only the last 15 pages or so are... like the action packed. Everything else is a lot of world building and
so they kind of respected that.
Yeah, it's like a little bit like I kind of realized that this story is kind of like a biblical retelling almost.
Big time. Because it's
I
almost
wasn't
like
expecting the big religion play.
Yeah, I mean religion was like the main theme of the movie. And we'll kind of get on to like that in just a second, but I do feel like you're right in the sense of by the time the war happened, it was so like prophesized and like set up that it was almost like they just took him out like in one foul swoop, which I thought was pretty.
And apparently that's what happens.
Cool. Yeah,
in the book.
And that felt really unique because you could have done the big epic war scene and kind of did what the first one did. Like the battle scenes are like short and sweet.
Yeah, but
I do feel like they were a lot tighter this time around, like a lot better executed. I felt like he heard the criticism of like the choreography in the first one's a little bit Dark Knight Rises. It's like a lot of like slow moves.
Chalamet was moving.
He was moving. He was quick and he was aggressive and nasty. But obviously, getting into the plot, this religious thing of Paul being set up as this Messiah, and I was alluding to the fact that I'd heard this movie like subverts the chosen one trope, and I got my answer is like. It kind of sets him up as like he's almost just like deceiving everyone the whole time is what I took from it.
Oh, I took that he didn't want to be the Messiah,
but until I think he wanted to, but I think his main motivation was revenge. Like most of the movie.
Oh, really?
He wanted to get vengeance for his father, and he used that as a way to kind of get what he wanted. Because it didn't matter like what he said to that guy by pretending to be humble.
Yeah.
It made him seem like more and more like the Messiah. And he's like, and he's kind of like shady. And he gets it from his mom because she's like super manipulative. And he's like, we have to convert like the non-believers. And
but then he changes his tune. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And I didn't believe that. I thought that like Paul as a character wanted to just be with the Fremen and like liberate them.
I didn't get that.
You thought he was playing like 7D chess.
He liked all that. And he means what he says to Zendaya when he's like, I'll always love you. Chani or Johnny? Chani. Yeah. But ultimately, like, he chooses the bloodline and being emperor and picking his own wife and partner in Florence Pugh in the end and does turn his back on her because the prophecy, being like the leader, is like more important to him.
Yeah, so he kind of gets lost in the sauce a little bit.
Yeah, he's just like I think he just accepts that he has like a higher purpose.
Zendaya sees that. I was kind of confused.
She's worried that's going to happen like the whole time, right?
And he assures her it's not going to happen. I was kind of confused why he like when he finally gets to the south, he just walks in and like drinks the water.
Yeah, it was a bit of a jump there.
I was like, oh, like why are you drinking that? Why not just like be there and not drink it?
Because that was like their policy, right? I think they mentioned is like if we go there, like to get the rest of the fanatics,
you're gonna
have to do it. Yeah.
Fuck. And he didn't want to go, but Gurney convinces him to go, or Javier Bardem convinces him.
Yeah, but then I think that's the moment he accepts it because he tells Chani, he's like, if we go this way, like I'm probably gonna lose you. I think he says something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's
that part was a bit confusing.
Yeah,
for me.
And I imagine like it's hard to adapt like such a complex book, right? Like this is where all these in the book you can be in people's minds and you can like do all this kind of stuff.
You know, it was a major departure, a major change in the book. I read this. You might like this.
Okay.
Is so throughout the movie, Rebecca Ferguson is talking to her like unborn child.
Yeah.
And is also talking for her unborn child. Like, oh, she asks this, she asks that.
Right.
In the book, she has this child, and the child is two years old.
Oh, but can like talk.
And can talk and run around, is running around on the battlefield with a sword and stuff.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
That's a good change.
Yeah.
Healthy change.
That's why I was like kind of weird that this child was talking, but it kind of makes sense now that this was the approach that Denis decided to take.
Yeah, he took it in a slightly more metaphorical fashion, I guess, because they're able to like see in the future, so they're able to like literally just converse with future versions of each other. Or like her fetus in this case.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what I guessed, but
yeah, or the fetus was like fully
already sentient. Yeah. I think that's interesting. And there's definitely some like the shots of like the fetus and the embryo like really reminded me of 2001, like A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
So there's all these like crazy things going on. Like visually for a blockbuster, like you don't see shot compositions and
some of the shots of like the
worm riding.
The worm fuck.
Like,
the worm riding was insane.
It was like one of the best scenes, probably the best scene in the movie. It was so loud, like I just felt like inertia. The sound design, like I was kind of chirping Hans Zimmer a little bit for the first one, not being super memorable, but I feel like he stepped it up in this one.
Yeah. And the scene of like the Harkonnen when they're like go to high ground, they like kind of float.
Yeah, that was sick. Those jetpacks, and you're like, what's the material? What's the resource? The fuel, and how does their technology work? Yeah, and like the guns are like so quiet, like, and you just
like everyone prefers to use swords.
Yeah, it seems like maybe the like weaponry is like a more finite resource.
Yeah, I think I read something about that.
Yeah. It's just it's a great universe. I'm getting more into it now. It was like it's a steep learning curve, or like it's a big acquired taste, but I do feel like I kind of want to read the book now.
Yeah, me too, actually. Maybe let's touch on performances.
Yeah,
I thought they were incredible across the board.
Yeah, I mean, where else can we start other than Mr. Austin Butler?
Yeah, fuck. I think there was like two actors that really converted me in this movie.
Oh, converted, not even impressed. Like you didn't really like them before.
I wasn't really impressed with their work.
Right.
So Austin Butler, obviously known for Elvis, but it seemed at the end of the day, it's like, can all this guy do is Elvis? Like he's getting so much praise,
and he couldn't leave the character after.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, is this your thing? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, buddy, like relax. Yeah. It's like one fucking movie.
He's gonna do a Vegas residency as Elvis.
Oh my god. But yeah, so seeing him as this Harkonnen warrior.
Yeah.
And like
he needed that, I think.
Yeah, so when I first see him, I'm like, oh god, like when this guy opens his mouth, I'm gonna fucking cringe.
Right.
But fuck me, was he good.
Yeah.
And he was so intimidating.
Yeah, this Joker, I wrote down Joker, like a Joker feel to him.
He was just so sick with his like his like he would like get off on violence
licking
and
his shouting, like wanting the kill for himself, and that was all great stuff. I was gonna say, like, going back and forth a bit, the two performances that maybe didn't do a ton for me were probably Christopher Walken and Florence Pugh. Like, I feel like neither of them had a whole lot to do.
Yeah, I don't think Florence Pugh had a lot to do. Yeah, it kind of rhymes. Maybe in the third one, Christopher Walken. No. I mean, you get what you get from Christopher Walken.
I'm the Baron.
It's me, the Emperor. Yeah, I agree with Florence Pugh. She was kind of like an exposition piece.
It's not really her fault. Like, I guess there was some good like silent stares where it's like she's conflicted, but she's not going to do anything. But that's digging a little bit.
Yeah, and then the other actor who converted me, and I think most of the world, from what I can read, is Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, he's great.
Timothée Chalamet has always been touted as this like next big thing.
Yeah, the next big superstar.
After Call Me by Your Name,
right? People still haven't seen.
Yeah, me either. Like, this guy's it, and then he gets Wonka. Didn't even have to audition. People are kind of.
You're skipping Beautiful Boy was the first thing I saw from him.
Yeah, but he's so young in that.
Yeah, but he's good.
That's like saying Jacob Tremblay is the next big thing.
No, he wasn't that young in that movie. He's like 17.
Or like Lucas Hedges.
Sure. And we all know what happened to him.
Yeah, exactly. Then we get to Wonka, and people are kind of like cringing at the trailer. I still haven't seen it. You saw it, right?
I liked it, yeah.
But then, just seeing him as Paul Atreides, and I think you said
it's a good role for him.
Is that like he's towing the line between like us cringing, but us actually going like, you know what, that fucking works.
Yeah.
And when after he drinks that water of life, he kind of becomes this like
shit-eating
this
grin.
persona. Yeah. He's like yelling, and you're like, okay, this is actually very believable.
Yeah, like you believe him as a leader.
He's kind of a dick too.
Yeah,
right?
he has that leadership. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that person you're gonna follow, and
you don't really see him as a boy anymore, which really works.
And you watch it happen on screen.
Yes,
like you see this maturation of him and this confidence growing, and in his hand-to-hand combat, and like the way he's just like kind of commands every conversation that he's in. It's like, we're gonna do this. Like, you guys want me to, and he just like keeps delivering when they want him to do stuff, and he's just like sick at everything. And he's that kid. Before you know
it. Him.
Yeah. Before you know it, you're like, I'd follow this guy into battle.
Yeah.
Like, do what he says.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that's propelled by, on the other side, like Javier Bardem's performance, like really stood out to me.
Yeah, it was good.
He kind of handled most of the comedic, like heavy lifting in the movie. And yeah, just that line where he's like, I don't care if you believe it. I believe it.
Yes.
That hit me really hard. I was like, fuck, that's the kind of the theme of this movie in a nutshell.
Rebecca Ferguson was good. I think her character was very interesting.
I think she, like, her whole arc in this movie and with the Reverend Mother is like kind of the one part I don't really understand still.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why do these people, at first they're like, oh, we can't even bring her with us. Like in the first one, I think, right? They're like, oh, she's too old to learn the ways. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, let's make her like a commanding person. I don't get that.
Yeah, well, I guess
I'm putting you on the spot. You're a Dune head now.
Their Reverend Mother was dying, so then she
why her?
There's
another Reverend Mother, right? There's like another lady they keep calling the Reverend Mother.
Well, every house has like a Reverend Mother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So who's there? Who's the Harkonnens' Reverend Mother?
Leah said you.
Oh, right. Okay, that's right. She was good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
She had like one scene.
No, when she was like seducing Austin Butler, like you could see her like how they're just those women are just like so in control and just we'll make him do this.
Well, they're always like, how can we manipulate?
Yeah,
and they figure out. And Austin Butler's horny as fuck, and he loves violence,
and he's was it sexually vulnerable?
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah, there's just like so many layers to this movie, like so many good performances, and I think Denis Villeneuve deserves a lot of credit for like. He's got a lot of egos and a lot of big personalities on set, and he manages to like make them all just serve their purpose.
Yes,
they're just there for the story. You can tell they're having a ball. Like I think this is a triumphant moment for cinema, in my opinion.
Nice, yeah. Favorite scenes.
I think the worm riding feels like one of those iconic scenes that we'll like always remember.
A lot of thumper shots in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of thumper shots. I think the fight in the Colosseum was incredible.
The lighting was so sick.
It was like what Thor: Love and Thunder should have done.
Yes.
That was great. Like I asked for a little bit more off-world and I got it.
Yep.
And I liked the only thing that kind of bothered me was there were some scenes where Stellan Skarsgård, for example, is in that lighting and he's like fully black and white and gray. And then he's like got regular skin tone in other scenes. And that...
I think it, like in that lighting, you're talking about on that world?
Yeah, it's like I get the lighting in this. I'm sure there's some reason for it, explanation-wise. But for some reason, I did find it a little distracting. Like,
yeah, fair.
I think they maybe went a touch too far with like the contrast.
I would say like some of the so some of the story is a bit lost on me. I think I might have to visit like a Dune 2 lore video.
Yeah,
just because like from what I gather, my interpretation as a non-Dune head is like Rebecca Ferguson drinks this water of life, and the Reverend Mother is like, oh shit, we fucked up because she's with child.
Right.
And this child has now...
Because at first I was like, oh, it's going to kill like the baby instead.
Yeah, but the prophecy is like he who drinks it and survives.
Right.
Like if a child drinks it and survives or something. So now like this daughter is now the true Messiah.
Right. But it's like hard to believe that Paul also isn't the Messiah because he's delivered on every
But then now he starts this holy war.
Yes, so he's knowingly sending his people to die.
Exactly. And he's going to like wreak havoc on the universe because he's seen it all.
Yeah, exactly. And he has this acceptance. I guess we haven't seen the end game as he has. Like we see glimpses of what
yes, he said there's a slim way through.
Yeah, which is a little Doctor Strangey for my liking. But yeah, that's why I kind of felt like what I was saying is true in that like ultimately the movie's basically message is like religion and like hope can be used against people to control them, and ultimately like he was able to do that, and they probably could he made them all believe like they weren't strong enough to like liberate themselves
because they had the nukes.
Yeah.
What do they
call the nukes? The
atomics.
Yeah, that's it.
When Gurney's like, "I'll show you when your dad hides the atomics," I was like, "That's fucking sick."
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, so just back to Rebecca, and she says like to her daughter, like, "Oh, your brother has started a holy war," and she kind of smiles. So are we going to get a third one?
Yeah, I think it's something he'll leave alone for a while.
Yeah.
He's already confirmed that his next film won't be Dune Messiah.
Yeah, it's I can't remember what it's called.
He said he's got 4 projects to choose from.
Ooh.
He's so open about how cocky he is. I love it. There's been some rumors of Bond as well. I don't know if you've heard those. 2-picture deal. I feel like it's going to get offered to either Nolan. It's going to get offered to both of them, and I think one of them will take it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time for Nolan to do Bond. Just a slight little... detour.
I think we could see like a third Dune. You got to age up Timothy a bit, because you got to get Anya Taylor-Joy.
Let everyone go away, do their own thing. That doesn't make sense to me though, because like the age difference is still not going to work unless she like grows super fast or something.
That's what I was thinking.
She's growing at a speed we couldn't predict. She's got like the, what do you call that thing? The Greek adding. Oh fuck.
An abacus.
Abacus. The abacus is like a baby hanging upside down.
Yeah, she's much more advanced than her age, than her peers.
It frightens me.
Silence!
So yeah, I think we'll see a third one down the line, like 2029 type deal. And I'm in. Like I think.
What was the gap between Two Towers and Return of the King?
They each came out 1 year after another.
I want this one next year.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen, and I think that's good because that was a lot to digest.
Would you watch it again?
Yeah, 100%. I will watch it again.
I kind of want to go IMAX, actually.
Yeah, I'd either do that or I'd wait till it's like at home on a nice evening, chill. But I'll definitely be watching this again. I want to read the book before I watch it again. So we'll see. Enough. We'll see how that goes. But I don't really have any negatives, man. Like,
I'd say some of my negatives are...
Yeah, well, tell me some things you didn't
It was... The pacing in some areas was a bit slow. Like I said, like... There's a whole portion where you're just following Paul doing Fremen shit.
I just liked all that though. It was so enjoyable to watch.
There's no imminent danger. There's no threats.
Well, it feels like it's coming. Like we're going towards something.
I just didn't feel like for a large portion of the movie, it felt like we weren't working towards something.
Right.
We were just kind of living day to day.
Right.
And maybe if I watch it again, I can appreciate it more, much like I did in Dune 1. But this one, I was kind of waiting for the Harkonnens breathing down their neck, kind of like a survival story.
Like a moment where they kind of like catch them off guard.
Yeah, or like a high tension thing. Everything kind of seemed to just...
Yeah, I will admit when they were like destroying the spice fields, like it always went pretty smoothly. It was just like they would take them all out and move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm. And like even the worm binding scene, like it's visually spectacular. You know he's not going to die.
I know, but you know that in every movie.
I know, but I just couldn't separate that.
It's such a random nitpick.
I did really like, just to circle back to the religion thing, Zendaya's line about when someone's like, oh, it's like as told in the prophecy, she's like, yeah, but she's like, your people wrote the prophecy, so it can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking...
It's true.
It's good. I like that.
And it's like, yeah, it's so airtight that like no matter what he does, like if he does something sick, they like believe it's because it's a prophecy. If he like fails, and it's like, oh, it's all part of like
exactly
the plight of our journey.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Like we see a lot of that today. So
yeah. I was reading that apparently in the book, Chani, the character Chani, is just like your typical complacent female written by a male author.
Right.
So Denis decided to give her a lot more agency and kind of be this foil to Paul and kind of be his moral compass, which I thought was a great decision.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, because
the dynamic between
the 60s,
those two,
right?
80s, 84, I think.
No, that was an old movie.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, the novel's like 67 or something crazy like that.
Book release date 65. Yeah,
65. Okay. So yeah, I could definitely see
a product of its time.
They make her kind of like just a bit more of a subservient.
Yeah.
Whereas this, she was like a bit more of a rebel, like more of a combatant.
Their dynamic was great.
Yeah. What did you interpret with the ending of her riding the worm, just like blowing off some steam?
I thought she was just gonna yeet herself into the worm.
Yeah. Yeah, she was choked, and like the movie did a good job of like I felt that heart rip when he chooses.
When he did, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, just like her face, she's just like devastated. You can tell like the air is just like sucked out of her body.
He even tried to tell her though, like, I'll love you as long as I breathe. And he like obviously that was just a political move, but it's still gonna hurt, right?
Yeah, for sure. And she's like, I'll love you as long as you stay who you are, which is kind of ironic as well, because like you could argue he's following his true destiny. But she wanted him to just stay the same.
Okay.
So there's all these layers, man.
Yeah, it was. It's a good movie. I think it's good.
No Momoa cameo.
No.
I'll take a ding on the sex scene.
Yep.
Just it was very PG, just like rubbing.
Like
I think Holland maybe had a bit of intervention. You know, made Denis cut it.
Silence! Shut up! No Rebecca Ferguson death. Seems like her character is a lot more important to the story than I thought
she's like seems very and watching her kind of descend into this like sinister force where she had that like warm kind of like motherly feeling at parts in the first one was great.
It really came through.
She's scary when she wants to be.
Yeah. The question, or you brought it up in the pre-show about how Oscar Isaac asks her, when it comes down to it, like, will you still save our son?
Will you protect our son? Yeah.
And that kind of comes to light where it's like, is she kind of down for it or not?
Yeah. Because she's definitely happy when he like murders the emperor. She's like, or not that. Yeah.
No, he murders
the Baron.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's happy. Like it cuts to her and she's like, she enjoys it.
Yeah. Curious.
Very curious.
Yeah, I definitely think the movie is growing on me, and I think upon second viewing, I'll probably enjoy it more. I would say it's actually very similar to the first.
Yeah, it's
people going out there and like, oh, this one's got way more action, or this one's way higher pace. Like, not really.
No, I would agree. It's got more action, but it's still like mostly like dialogue and introspection and
kind of
scenic.
Gives me like 2049 vibes.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I'm glad this guy's around making movies. I feel like he's entering his prime right now.
And he's Canadian, which is always a little bonus.
Nice little rep there. So I'm very happy with it overall.
Oh, actually, before we wrap up, seeing as it is now 1 week before the Oscars.
Right.
You want to rip through some...
Quick Oscar special?
Quick Oscar special, yeah. All right. Best Actor.
That will be Cillian, yeah.
Runner-up, Paul Giamatti. Let's not do runner-up.
I saw The Holdovers just got added to Prime. I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet either. Best Picture.
I think... Okay, well, let's for everyone, let's do who you think will win and who you would give it to.
Okay, so Best Actor, Cillian.
CC, okay.
Best Picture.
Oppenheimer? No.
Oppenheimer will win.
Right. I agree.
I think I wouldn't be mad. I haven't seen all of them, but I wouldn't be mad if any of them won. Killers definitely is up there for me.
Yeah. I'm going to be controversial and say I want Poor Things to win.
All right. Best Actress.
Emma Stone.
I think Lily Gladstone's going to win.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
She was really good, and also, like, the Academy they love circle jerking themselves.
Yeah.
Look at what we can give, like, first Indigenous person an award.
That was kind of like, sorry, who won it last year? Best Actress? Because Cate Blanchett should have won it.
It was, oh my God.
It was Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh, which is another
first example.
Asian actor, right?
Yeah.
Even though she deserved it.
I think Cate Blanchett deserved it.
And Tar. Same with...
Did you see Tar?
Yeah. I saw it with you.
Yeah, that's right.
Brendan Fraser was another Academy circle jerk.
But he should have won it as well. I like it when they give it to the underdog as well.
Yes.
I had no issues with Fraser.
You are the problem. All right, let's move on.
I
think Lily Gladstone. I actually put some money on that.
And you already have?
I already have, yeah.
Jesus, you're ahead of the game here. I'm going to go Emma.
Okay. Best animated.
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse, yeah.
And Spider-Verse should
People
and will.
might say The Boy and the Heron. But
Nah.
we'll see.
Next.
Best original song. It has to be Billie Eilish.
What I was made for.
If I'm Just Ken wins, like that's a farce because it won at the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
That is outrageous. Skip.
Best director.
It's Nolan's time.
Yeah, I don't see how it cannot.
Jonathan Glazer's Zone of Interest. I want to see that.
I want to see it as well.
It looks harrowing. It reminds me of Boy in the
Boy in the
Striped
Pajamas.
Pajamas.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about that movie back in like high school. Best supporting.
RDJ.
You think it's gonna be RDJ?
You never know with De Niro. They might just sneak it to him.
I could see De Niro. Was Ruffalo good in Poor Things?
Ruffalo's he's hilarious. He plays this pompous asshole, and it's just brilliant. Like,
I gotta check out Poor Things.
You do have to check out Poor Things.
I could see Robert Downey.
Gosling
is a dark horse, for sure.
What's your actual prediction?
If I had to put money on it, probably RDJ.
Yeah, I agree.
But I hate how he's going around doing this whole like
he wants it.
But he's like, oh, like I've come from nothing kind of thing.
Yeah,
like, buddy, like you're in like a
when you get to step back and do one of these things.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's a good impression.
In the cosmos of what we're doing. You get a call from Nolan, and it's like, let's go.
It's like, dude, you were fucking Iron Man in like 7 movies. You made billions of dollars. Yeah, relax.
He's a little bit pretentious.
Yeah. That was a good impression.
Thank you.
Best supporting actress.
Emily Blunt, I don't really think was that good in Oppenheimer.
Apparently, Davine Joy Randolph won the Golden Globe.
America Ferrera, no, that's a bit of a farce if you ask me.
Yeah, I know.
Jodie Foster, I'm sure she's good. I've never even heard of that film, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'll go with that. Holdovers.
Okay. Best original score. Probably
Oppenheimer. Dial of Destiny.
By John Williams?
Fuck off, giving Dial of Destiny. It's just a reprise of his old score.
They just want to give John Williams another nom.
I do think the Killers of the Flower Moon score was really good, too.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, very eerie.
But yeah, this one's probably going to go to Oppie. Yeah. Ludwig's going to get his second Oscar.
Right.
What was his first?
Interstellar.
No. That's Hands.
Fuck, idiot.
Hint, it's an MCU movie.
It's an MCU. Black Panther?
Black Panther.
Nice.
Best visual effects. People are saying Godzilla -1. I can see the creator doing it.
That's interesting. Dead Reckoning Part 1. Napoleon. Napoleon actually had really good special effects.
Hey, Anthony, the audience knows you saw Napoleon, okay? It's okay.
It's a good movie. Yeah, Godzilla -1.
Okay, here we go. Best original screenplay.
I can see Past Lives just sneaking in there.
Past Lives, yeah. It's so
or The Holdovers.
Written.
But yeah, I'll go Past Lives.
Best adapted.
Barbie.
I think if Barbie were original, because it should be original, I think it would win.
Yeah. I think they're gonna. This is a political play. This is like the one they're okay to give to Barbie.
I still think it might be Oppenheimer, and the internet's gonna be pissed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Barbie.
Best cinematography.
Oppenheimer. That's not even a question. Bradley Cooper just got shafted for Maestro. Hey?
Yeah.
Oppenheimer editing.
Oh, I didn't do.
Poor Things production design for sure.
I like to do costume. Probably Barbie.
Napoleon. Right? They had good costumes.
Dude, stop stroking off Napoleon. It's such a mid movie.
Poor Things.
No, it's gotta be Barbie.
Okay.
Film editing.
Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Makeup and hairstyling.
I'll go Poor Things.
Okay.
You'll give me that one.
What about Maestro with his fake nose?
It looks like shit. That's like when Dallas Buyers Club won with their makeup budget was like $1,500 or something like that.
Really?
And they won the Oscar. And that was why, because they used like water spray and shit.
Production design, I could see Napoleon. Nice little period piece.
Production design. Yeah. Give me that.
Best sound, Oppenheimer.
We're getting into the era doesn't even go
what about sound editing? What about sound mixing? Well, yeah, so
they're doing you see there's like best stunts. It comes in next year.
I thought they're doing
the first time.
Is it stunts or is it something else?
I think there might be a couple.
No, it's like English language film or something like that.
So Best Picture?
New Oscar categories.
I think
they don't want to do best stunts. Best achievement in casting. They don't want to do best stunts because it encourages people to make riskier and riskier stunts.
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Think about your buddy Cam, all right?
Yeah. I thought it was him that sent it to me, but maybe he made it up. All right. Well,
that wraps up a little Oscar special.
That was a worthy 50th episode, if you ask me.
I think so, yeah. We'll finish off with Dune 2. Yeah. Excellent film. I think Antony said it great that, this is the next big trilogy.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a two-parter of, this generation. We had Lord of the Rings. Did we have Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, we had Lord of the Rings. We were blessed. We got Pirates, Harry Potter. We had all these big franchises.
We had all the way up to Endgame.
Yeah, we got the MCU in its peak.
And now,
you guys can have Dune.
Yeah, there you go. So we're blessed with Dune.
What are some of the biggest upcoming films?
Twisters.
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Joyce was not having that trailer.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. Oh, dude, Kong x Godzilla. That trailer looked awful.
It just looks like a video game.
It's just it's such a departure from 2014.
It's the same universe as that.
I know.
As that somber 2014 indie film directed by Gareth Edwards. Craven. You give me Craven?
I could do Craven.
Okay, we'll consider.
I had
Craven.
to put my foot down for Madame Web.
Yeah, he was not having Madame Web. And you know what? In retrospect, you were right. When I saw how bad it was, I think it would have been an experience, but we ain't got time for that. We're busy. The next biggest things are Deadpool. Gladiator 2 comes out.
It comes out this year?
I think it's November this year, yeah.
There's a big one dropping.
Joker,
something's dropping in March, isn't there?
Joker 2, Furiosa.
Furiosa, nice.
Mufasa, the Lion King.
Is that this year?
Yeah.
Moana 2 in November.
Yeah. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Venom 3 is also this year.
Wow.
Civil War. Fall Guy. Or came out.
No, stunt guy or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, Civil War looks good.
Alien Romulus. Yeah, that is this year. Alien Romulus.
Wow.
But yeah, anyway, there's some big films coming out, so we'll see you in the not too distant future, I'm sure.
Definitely, and thank you for 50 episodes, and here's to 50 more.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I've been Evan.
I've been Antony.
Take care.